everybody, welcome back to WeLikeDota and the WeLikeDota Community Night. Flipping back over to the game now, if I can close all these menus. Oh my goodness. Alright.
Technical possibilities!
So many possibilities. It is the name of the game. Speaking of the name of the game, we've got a co-caster with us tonight. TugzMcBoat, why don't you say hello to the team?
Hello everybody!
So welcome back, and really good to have you here.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've done a solo cast between the two of us, so.
Oh yeah, I suppose that's right.
Yeah, we've done a couple tries the last few weeks, and then you've been MIA, and I've been MIA, so
Yeah.
back to form.
Yeah, fair.
The subpar hype form that I provide, but I try. That's
No,
the
you do
most
great.
important part.
So,
Yeah, so
captains, Necro.
yeah, we really need to think about maybe starting these things later, because there's really not a whole lot to talk about, because some of these are disrespect bans, because I think I don't know, I think it's Diddy Mitch who plays the techies or something, just on community nights a lot, and that's just people don't want to deal with that shit. And then
Yep.
Viper and Brood, Brood's never a first round pick. She's always a 5th round pick. But like I said, I think Busby plays her a lot. I'm not sure. But so right now it's kind of the WLDL respect bans in the
Yeah.
first couple ones, and so there's I really can't draw any strategy around it other than they just don't want to play against those guys, which is fine, because in these at this tier, just play what you're good at, and if you're not good against something, ban it. Who cares if it's Brood level at the
Sure.
first pick of the ban? So I think I focused too much on the past on trying to make these pro casts, and I don't really like that. But it's you know what? No, if they don't want to play those heroes and they don't know how to counter them, then for all my God's sakes, ban the motherfuckers. So sorry,
Yeah.
earmuffs, children.
No, you're fine. No, I completely agree. I think oftentimes when I look at these other players and our level of pick and ban and player skill, um, these guys actually are all on par or better than me. So if they're looking to ban somebody that they don't want to face, or if they're looking to respect ban another player who they think might have a limited hero pool that they're worried about, then
Right.
perfectly fair.
I've gotten to play Storm Spirit once so far, and one of these days I'll get to play him again.
Mm-hmm.
But they've only let me play Storm once in community night. I think maybe twice. I think I busted him out twice, but
Okay.
I think that was an all pick mode and I just spammed it. So
That's fair. So he's still real good in this meta, huh?
you have to change it up a little bit. I've always I am still of the opinion that the mid lane needs to farm at least for the first 10 minutes. And
Sure.
they can go, certainly they can try to gank with a good rune. By the way, the good rune is invisibility and haste, and literally nothing else. Illusion runes don't really do much other than setting them up to scout or to stack jungle camps.
Right.
And a DD rune doesn't really get you into position to pull off a good gank. It's really good for kind of owning that mid lane for that duration. I mean, you can
Right.
grab it in TP to a lane, but so when people say good runes, it's invisibility and haste, and mostly just haste, just because
Pretty
it
much.
allows you to get there so much. And then after that, it's really about just dominating the mid lane and getting help rotations from the supports. So I have some fine tuned timings in my head, 6.83, you kind of had to hit an orchid around 14 15 minutes was usually a pretty good timing, and then you could kind of transition into a bloodstone around if you're doing really well 22 23 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
But now, but I used to be farm centric. I had timings where you had to hit kind of around that 50 to 60 CS benchmark around 10 to 11 minutes. Now, given the amount of gold that's distributed early on to kills
Right.
versus the reduced bounty on creep kills, I think it's almost slightly more beneficial for Storm and some of the other mid laners who do have good solo kill potential at level 6, 7, 8 to maybe start roaming a little bit more. I've instead of trying to focus on the S, I've been playing around with it, but I
Uh-huh.
do think that him leaving lane slightly earlier than he used to is probably a little bit more beneficial. But it's always dependent upon lanes and
Right.
opposing heroes and that kind of stuff. So he's still very very good. It's uh, basically the Muskill cap group just got a little bit harder because the only thing they reduced was the flying vision, which
Right.
is insanely helpful when you're trying to, go around juke spots and, trying to find somebody in a team fight. But if you're good with the hero and you can predict movements well, it really hasn't changed that much at all.
I
So
see.
Storm is still good, just not as valuable to other players on the team as he used to be with the flying vision that he provided.
I see. I think, that makes a lot of sense. I was actually wondering why everybody felt that that was such a strong nerf, but I'm not really a Storm player, so I never really got the feel for the way that
Like,
it exposed the map.
you don't ever notice it because you're so like busy like trying to figure out what you're trying to do in a team fight. But like think about it, like if you're in the jungle and you don't have a ward up, and all of a sudden a storm flies in and he's on your team, and then you get to see everything around you
Right.
in a 1400 vision and it's open. Like
Yeah.
even though it's
Just
only for
lights
that
up the
ball
world.
lightning phase, like you can pick up on like where someone is like real quick, and you
Uh-huh.
may not. Some people just don't notice it because they're trying to focus on what they're trying to do,
I
but
think that's
it's
me.
really helpful. Like because all of a sudden you'll pick up like, oh shit, there's the Earthshaker. He's standing behind that tree, and then like people can move and adjust to that. And that was really, really, really helpful because Storm didn't even have to be nearby to kind of grant vision like that. So
I gotcha. I guess that makes sense. I mean, because that was part of the sniper nerf too, was the delay in his shrapnel vision.
yeah,
So there
it
must
all
just be a lot
it
of power
it
behind it.
doesn't provide vision now, correct?
I think
Or
oh,
it still does?
I think it does, but it's delayed.
I know
Like,
it's delayed by a ton.
yeah, right. Before it actually starts coming down and providing vision. Um,
Okay,
but no, I'm pretty sure it provides vision still.
okay. I was curious about
Hmm.
that. But all right. So now that we got some of the characters, I thought we can kind of look at what they're going for.
Yeah,
Um, the the Radiant definitely have some good push potential with the Juggernaut and the Healing Ward, and definitely with the Brewmaster, one of the ultimate team vitals in the game.
right.
And now you have Disruptor to hold somebody in place, and Rubik can steal spells, and basically everything. Oh my God, yeah, this is a dream for
Wow,
Rubik. Frostbite's OP,
isn't it?
Crystal Nova's OP, Fire Blast is OP. Both
Unrefined.
of Yeah, unrefined if he gets it is OP. Um, I mean, these are all tier one, tier two skills. The only ones he wouldn't really want to get are like Anchor Smash, and I mean, even Gush is somewhat good as a slow, but most of their team is pretty slow to begin with, so it's really not, it's kind of whatever. And they've got a really good repositioning skill with Disruptor's Glimpse.
Right.
So, but yeah, I mean, everything else: Frostbite, Crystal Nova, Freezing Field, Reaper's Scythe, and Ravage are obviously the ones he's going to want to try to get the most. Reaper's Scythe is a guaranteed um, hit as well for the most part
Yeah.
because the cast animation is very long.
Yeah, he should have field day this game. This would be so exciting to be able to like switch up your spells fast and just keep rolling
Yeah.
with new abilities. That's so much fun.
Um, so I do like that. I think they should go for a push lineup. So they'll probably go Jug mid. They need an offlaner. They need like some sort of like pushing offlaner. I think like a Bristleback would be really good here for the Radiant team.
Sure.
I feel like that would be a very strong hero. Anybody who could do like some sort of like lane sustain. I mean, and they could even send like the Brewmaster offlane maybe, and
Yep.
have some sort of like lane sustaining mid that's good for pucks, or like a Dragon Knight wouldn't be too bad. They would have three melee heroes, but it's not that big of a deal considering you're not really worried about the right clicks from Necropose or the Crystal Maiden.
Right.
So like Dragon Knight mid wouldn't be too bad if they sent the Brewmaster offlane. I'd be okay with that. That would be pretty cool.
Sure.
Um, and Disruptor's a semi decent roaming hero. I think Rubik's a little bit better. Sorry, Rubik's a pretty good roaming hero.
Yeah, he is.
So you could go that way, and then okay, so they went more gank heavy. Spirit Breaker's really good. So, and I was wondering where the damage was gonna come from on the dire side, and there it is. So I think Ursa's a little underplayed right now. I think the his ult that ultimate buff is actually really good. So
Mm-hmm.
they definitely have a lot of control between all of their stuns and slows and whatnot. So if Ursa can get a good BKB, they really can't stop him. Um, they've got Glimpse, which is good, and uh, it'll be hard for him to get the kill off if Omni can get his or if Juggernaut can get the Omni slash off, or if Brewmaster can get his ult off. But other than that, they don't have their kiting isn't that great. As long as other than glimpse, but once glimpse has been used, that's pretty done, and then telekinesis, and then after that, you're really just kind of hoping from bashes by the spirit breaker. So
Yeah, those do come fast and furious, though.
Omni Slash or Blade Fury is really not going to do anything against an Ursa under early levels.
That's
He
true.
will he will happily right click the Juggernaut if he tries to Blade Fury into him.
That's right. Yeah, happy to trade in that scenario.
Um,
So let me just take a second to walk in the heroes and the players behind them. We've got Diddy Mitch on Juggernaut, Juice on Rubik, both going safe lane on the Radiant side, Busby on the Brewmaster. Cheese Whiz is going to be on the Disruptor. Kyler is on Spirit Breaker. On the Dire side, we have Yadneb on the Ursa. Pretty Bunnies is on Necro. Huge Adoosh is on Crystal Maiden. Got a fourth hero in here. Cheeks of Flappin is on the Ogre Magi. And fighting for the bottom rune, we have Set Bellow on Tidehunter.
a little bit may have a small skirmish. Nope. Everyone's just gonna get their respective runes and walk away.
Mm-hmm.
And they will be sitting in the room mid, and it looks like they're gonna run dual lanes. Okay.
Interesting.
If they send the Spirit Breaker just kind of like spamming into meta a lot, Necrophos has no escape. So if the Brewmaster can get a timely or Thunderclap followed up by Spirit Breaker, like Necro dies.
That's very true.
So I really hope that Kyler on the Spirit Breaker is communicating with Busby to try to get off some timely ganks. They do have a good ward. Oh, it looks like they're going to charge a little bit on the Crystal Maiden, but she's just going to walk back happily, and they're going to continue to harass out Kyler a little bit. So the Dire team do have a good ward right here for trying to catch out the Spirit Breaker if he decides to charge. So if he does charge, he has to come through here, which isn't ideal because he can start seeing him from across the lane as opposed to coming down from here where he doesn't really have as much time to react. But they
Right.
have the ward right here, which should allow the mid laner to see it a little bit more. But he's gonna charge again on the Crystal Maiden, but he gets stunned just in time by Chiefs of Pathland. Great stun right there. He's still gonna try to cast down the Crystal Maiden. She is so slow, slower than the Wolves of Ice Rack. She falls.
That's pretty slow.
I think they're like rescue puppies or something like that.
Oh,
They've
they're
got good
miserable.
legs, but they are gonna continue to chase down Kyler. He doesn't have enough mana for the Charge of Darkness. Still gonna get charged down by the Ursa. Thunderclap, a couple more right clicks. Doesn't have glimpse on the disruptor, but he's gonna try to do some body blocking. Really good body blocking right there, and it
Yeah, it
looks like the
is.
Spirit Breaker's gonna get away. And as try as they might, they're not gonna get it. But they should be able to kill the disruptor. They should have been right clicking him a little bit more. Here comes the stun by Cheeks of Flappin, and the disruptor is gonna fall right there. So
Wow. You know who the MVP of that entire chase was? It was this dire ranged creep who the whole time was just harassing him.
I did not see that.
That was hilarious.
Oh man, good times. And it looks like the Brew is actually getting the better of the mid lane. He has 7 less hits to 5 denies. Brew is actually a really tough laner. It's hard to harass him down because of the mischance. He has really good right click, a really good animation. That in conjunction with Drunken Haze, it makes the
Yeah,
enemy a hard hit. Now Necro is pretty good because he can spam. I really don't like the 2 in Heartstopper Aura though. I think a value point at level 1 is pretty good. After that, you really need to be maxing Death Pulse and Sadist. It's not worth the skill points.
I think that's probably true. The only exception is if you're doing some weird cheese strat like trying to hook the ancients and the radiant
Yeah, the
the
ancient thing,
Roche.
that's like
Yeah.
that's like the only thing. But just for some math here, so he's doing
Right.
0.6%. So 1% of Brewmaster right here is like 7. So about half of that is about 4. So for an extra skill point, he went from doing an extra 4 damage per second to about 6 damage per second.
Oof.
He increased it by 2. Whereas
50%.
if he whereas if he put in that second point in Death Pulse,
Uh-huh.
he goes from doing 75 damage to 125. And burst damage is really important because I mean all he's gonna do is just eat tangos, and the heal is just absolutely negated by that extra skill point. So
Right.
um, I think that's a mistake right there. So just trying to help you guys out. Little math never hurt anybody.
Oh, it hurts me.
I know.
It hurts me real bad. I can't do it.
So I know a lot of times people say it's a mistake without really understanding why, and the reason why is because you went from draining his health at 4 per second to 6 for a skill point, where you could have increased your damage on a death pulse by 75 to 125. That's the main difference.
Yeah. Maybe if you had some way of keeping him standing still, like put him to sleep.
Right. There you go. Just stand next to him for the
That's
entire
right.
duration. There you go. Not
Or,
bad at all.
or cliff him and then just stand next
Right.
to him. Could also be good. These are basically the strats I have to offer. That's why I'm in the We Like Dota League.
If you could get like a refresher orb on Elder Titan and
Okay.
just like stomp him.
Yeah.
Gonna be a charge on the Ogre Magi Disruptor slows out a defensive kinetic field, and is gonna be able to walk away before he gets brought down. But there is the Fire Blast by Cheeks of Flapping, followed up by Yad Neb. But he's gonna get Thunderclapped and or Thunderstrike, and he's gonna back off a little bit. Thunderstrike actually does pretty good amount of damage early on, but it looks like he's gonna charge the Ursa. This is a risky move. He's surrounded by creeps and he's got 2 stuns waiting for him, and he decides to wisely back out. That was, if he tried to go on that, there's no
Yeah.
way he survives there. Between the extra stun coming out from the Ogre Magi and the Frostbite coming in from the CM right there, that doesn't give him the ability to cack, he was gonna get absolutely bursted down. So good on him to recognize to get out right there. And meanwhile, we haven't talked at all about the bottom lane. The Juggernaut is not farming as well as I'd like, given that it's a Tidehunter solo and he does have the Rubik to harass, but it looks pretty stagnant. I think this is a win for the offlaner. He's getting his levels. He's got the second most last hits in the game. So yeah, Tidehunter is definitely winning the bottom lane right now.
Interesting. I mean, the Juggernaut is leading the net worth chart, but I suppose you're right since he is splitting levels.
You're talking about the #1 position versus the #3, and he has a support taking XP away from him. Yeah,
right.
The Tidehunter is definitely winning the lane. It's not even close.
Right.
Double damage.
Ursa has his Morbid Mask, so I think I'm not really quite sure. I haven't played Ursa enough, and I definitely not with the new Ursa. I don't even know what he needs now to solo Roche. I've seen Roche's done it like 3 minutes in this patch, so I don't even know what Ursa needs now. I do know though at level 6 he will bring down a Roshan in about 25 to 30 seconds, if that.
Sure. I'm not sure what he needs either. I mean, beyond, the typical Quelling Blade and Morbid Mask at least, and then, the fact that he doesn't need the Vanguard anymore.
Yeah, I think some people go like,
or Vladimir's rather.
Vlad's. Yeah, I think some people try to get like a Bassi, just for that extra armor.
Uh-huh.
I've seen some wait till they're level 6. I've seen some go in with just Morbid Mask, like a Bassi, and then like 2 salves. I really don't know. Like I've seen so many, and I haven't done the research to really figure out what the best is.
Sure.
And looks like the Brewmaster is going to come up top. He does have his level 6. He throws out the Drunken Haze. They're going to get caught in the kinetic field. He throws down the Thunderclap. He's going to have his ultimate here. Oh, he doesn't have enough mana. Not a bad mana. He uses Cheeks of Flap, but he's going to run away. Can get a couple right clicks down, but he is going to be able to escape out of there.
Wow.
A little worse for wear on the mana management by the Brewmaster. He threw down the Thunderclap and he tried to throw out the Primal Split, but wasn't able to do it. Here comes the charge by the Spirit Breaker. He's able to connect on Cheeks of Flap. One more right click. Ooh, good Fire Blast right there. He's going to be able to count him out a little bit more, but he should be able to go down here. One more right click from the Spirit Breaker. There he is, and he's going to fall. But here comes Pretty Bunnies and Huge Juice coming up on the kinetic field. Throw him up, but it's not going to be enough, and throws down the ult there by the Necrolite, and then that's going to bring him down for 46 seconds. I hate Necrophos so much.
I hate eating that scythe.
30 seconds at an earlier level is
no
joke. Oh, and Frostbite coming out from the Crystal Maiden, and they're able to get a double kill out of that rotation. So,
Well
Good
played.
job there by the Dire team. Yeah, no, 30 seconds when you're level 4 is no joke.
No.
Because your respawn timer normally would be 15. So it's
Yeah,
like a
you lose so much
200%
time.
increase. Yeah, it's a 200% increase on the death timer. It's not, it is nothing to scoff at.
No. But let's be honest, the reason you take the whoops, the reason you take the Reaper Scythe is so that you can kill steal your teammates, right?
Kill secure,
Kill
buddy.
sec
Kill secure.
See, I'm bad at this game. I don't know the terminology like you do.
Listen, if you just accept the fact that it's kill secure, not kill steal, it's like 500 MMR right there.
Oh. Hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
See? You're
No.
learning.
Yes.
Everything can work.
Okay, so we have an exciting pause for a reason that I am not aware of.
Either am I. But that's okay.
Spearbreaker AFK, apparently.
Ah. Oh, maybe that's why he died.
Oh yeah, that would explain that.
Although I think he died under tower as he was like trying to chase down Cheek, so I find that highly unlikely.
Whatever. Whatever works. This is Dota. Any excuse you can dig up is fine.
Right.
So I'm just gonna scroll around the effigies because I can. Let's see here. Omni Knight, Purify by Cheese Whiz. Nice. We've
Oh,
got
were we looking at effigies?
yeah. That's why we're on pause time. Got Winter Wyvern in his dramatic Godzilla pose
Nice.
by Juice.
Time to get my balls out by Cheeks.
Yeah.
Nice.
He's very fond of that one.
I'm very proud of my Tidehunter effigy. I have over 60 commends on my Tidehunter
Oh,
effigy.
nice.
I know. But it's like it's the original one, so like it's not all fancy and gold or jade or
No, I'm still riding on the original too.
black
Uh-huh.
or anything like that. So I'm like, oh, I could have made my art glorious, but I didn't because I didn't wait long enough. I threw all my eggs in one basket. Here comes the charge out by the Spearbreaker. That he is going to be going on planting bunnies. They do ping it out.
Oof.
Oh no, that was the Spearbreaker ping out. He wants the Destructor to kind of follow up, but the Crystal Maiden is there, as is the Ursa. This is going to be suicide if he keeps going up on this, and he does wisely stop. Oh, and it looks like the Ogre Magi was able to. Looks like there was a gank bottom, and they were able to get the kill on the Ogre. Yeah, the Tidehunter is doing exceedingly well.
Yeah.
He's actually going mech first before Blink.
Oh, interesting.
Interesting.
I think I would have rather had the blink, but personal preference.
I would too. And Tidehunter, his mana pool, he does have the mana boots, but Tidehunter's mana pool is not the best. I mean, it looks like he's gonna go full tank mode, which,
Right.
given the amount of melee DPSers, is really not that bad.
Sure.
You know, he's already got the Anchor Smash maxed out. He's leveling up the Kraken Shell over the Gush. You know, if he gets the mech on top of that, he's going to be exceedingly hard to kill. So I guess he's just going to try to go full tank mode. I'm not sure. Meanwhile, Cheeks of Falcon throws on the Fire Blast on Diddy Mitch. Diddy Mitch is going to try to juke into a tree. He gets gushed, and he does throw out the Omni Slash, and then followed up immediately by a Blade Flurry. He's able to bring down Cheeks of Flap, and then Cetabil's going to click down by the tower. He's going to take some right-click damage from that, and plus the creep. But he is able to get around because he is just a goddamn tanky one.
Yeah, he is.
He is going to get wrapped around here by the Rubik. Here comes the Rubik lift. A couple right clicks from Diddy Mitch. Anchor Smash up, reducing that damage, but he is pretty low. He's got about 100 HP. But a couple more right clicks from Diddy Mitch. Anchor Smash again. There's a couple right clicks from the Rubik, and the crit comes through, bringing
Oof.
down the watermelon. Meanwhile, top lane looks like Busby's in a little bit of trouble. Looks like he's already used his ultimate. It looks like they brought down the Necrolite, unbeknownst to us. He is getting chased down by the Crystal Maiden, swifter than the wolves of Ice Rack. And here comes Slowed, and oh no, that's not good.
Oh, so slow.
Yeah.
Did those stack there?
Ursa hurts a lot.
Yeah, he does.
Radiant's mid tower's coming apart.
Stacked, yeah, between the
Ursa and the
crit-
CM slow.
yeah, the Crystal
Yeah.
Nova and the Earth Shock. Yes, they do stack.
Ah, gotcha.
Slow stack.
Okay. The charge has to keep changing
But
targets.
it's a percentage of the remaining speed, I believe.
Oh, okay. Diminishing multiplication.
But
thing.
it's not diminishing cause you know what? I really don't know.
Yeah, I think that's what they call stack diminishingly.
Yeah, there we go. Well, because then there's like multiplicity and like additivity or something like that. It's like it's reduced by the remaining one.
You're
But
hurting me with this math. I
they're
can't do
both
it.
really good. Ultimate, here comes the
Oh
charge
god.
by the Spirit Breaker. He is not going to blow the ult right there. Yes, he is. And Yadeb is going to fall. Crystal Maiden still trying to get those right clicks in. She is a fiery mistress.
No, I see. Or maybe she's doing it wrong.
That's how she tricks you.
Mm-hmm.
She's gonna throw out a couple wards. So we have wards back to back to back. The Spirit Breaker does see her. He decided not to charge. He did have it up. I'm curious as to why, but he's gonna try to continue the chase. And we have 4 in the Radiant top lane. Meanwhile, we have 3 in the 3 Dire on the Radiant bottom lane. It looks like we're gonna have a tower trade right here. So
The race. Base race.
we got a long base race. But Diddy Mitch is going to push the middle tower right now, and that should fall first. Oh man, they're going to lose both glyphs at the same time if they're not careful. They did. That's actually really good timing. That's basically one less free glyph that they get.
Mm-hmm.
Although I don't think either team... the Radiant did fortify, so a bit of a mistake on the Dire right there for A, not fortifying at all, and B, missing the second fortify. So...
Right. Missed opportunity.
But yeah, definitely a favor of the Radiant for that trade there. And it looks like the Ursa's pretty much just going to find the Ursa. Is able to drop the Yonder Slash. Ursa might get away. He does drop the Earthshock. He is slow, but Juggernaut is quite a fast being, but he is able to get away. If he had the mana for a Blade Fury right there, the Ursa would have been dead. Excuse me while I sneeze. I did not feel that coming. It looks like he's going to get wrapped down around by 3 heroes. The Necropus is going to come up around the back. Here comes the Juggernaut. He's going to get trapped in by the Necropus, followed up closely by Cheeks of Flakman, and here comes Huge Deuce, followed up closely by the Ice Blast. In the Fire Blast, here comes the ultimate by the Necrolite. Didn't quite get the kill, so he doesn't get the bonus timer on, but it is the dead hard carry, and that's always a good thing.
Yep. Still counts. It's still a kill.
Yeah, but those 30 seconds are oh so nice.
Yeah, they're brutal.
So, I think it's funny that the Radiant have put down the Sentry Ward to spot out the Dire Observer Ward, but actually don't have vision to get rid of it.
Yeah. That's
so
tricky.
really, by placing that ward right here, without an Observer Ward on the high ground, they were really hoping that a ward was going to be right about here.
Right. Well, my guess is that that was a random one. It was just a deward attempt without thought about having to see the high ground. And
right. I mean, I guess if Spirit Breaker runs through here, he'll see
right.
it.
Yeah.
That might
cancel a charge just to kill the ward.
Right. It's 50 gold, man.
Okay.
And I think it gives XP too.
Well, maybe they could just blink up there at some point.
Although the Dire did block their large camp, so that was unfortunate with this ward right there. That's a kind of tricky one. I think a lot of people do that and they don't realize it because they really want to get vision of the
lanes.
Of the lane right here, and they don't quite realize that by doing that they're going to block their own camp.
Right. But the sort of blocking square is actually really deceptive.
Yeah.
It's useful to actually look at that map once.
It's really for that one that the most players tend to do it that they don't mean to.
Right.
But, looks like the connected field is going to drop in the mid lane. They're going to try to go on the Necropost. Here comes Run Refined Fire Blast there. We're going to drop down with the Blue Master Blink, which he already has up there. But the Ursa is going to drop his ult. He's going to keep bringing him down, but he does have the miss chance. Can't quite bring down the Brewmaster. Charge in by the Spirit Breaker to disrupt that up. It's able to reset. Yadab is still going on it, but here comes the Armor Slash. He's able to drop the Spirit Breaker. Frost Splash coming in on the Brewmaster. It looks like Cheeks of Flapper is still going to try to walk around here. The Tidehunter is still quite the tank, hardly taking any damage. The chase is going to begin on the Disruptor now. He is out of mana, and Cetabella has full, but he decides to let him go.
I think he was going back to defend the Ogre Magi.
Oh, here comes the Ravage on the Brewmaster. Here's a lift by the Rubik, though. Still can't quite bring him down. He's only at half health. He does get hit by the bash on the incoming Spirit Breaker. Ultimate by the Brewmaster. He's going to try to bring down the Tidehunter. It looks like he'll get a meanwhile up top. Here comes the Reaper Sight. He's able to connect on the Spirit Breaker, and he's down for 6 seconds. Brewmaster still going to try to go in on Cetabella. We got Pretty Buddies Diddy Mitch, and he's going to be able to get Diddy Mitch. He does get Diddy Mitch down right before he falls. Little over aggressive there by the Juggernaut. there's a lot of things going on right there.
Yeah, that was a prolonged team fight.
Yes, I am not good at this. If you guys, when you're listening to this in the future, if you could like kind of separate these out into like 10-second bursts, I can do that. Not so good on the full craziness. I also forget to zoom out from time to time.
Oh, you're fine. Actually, if there are any camera complaints, you can direct them toward me because I am controlling the camera in this one.
Well, they can't tell what I'm looking at, so.
Yeah. Actually, I think they can if they look really closely at the minimap. They can actually see your heads-up display or whatever it is, the ghost of it.
On your screen?
Yeah, on my minimap.
Well, they can see my pings and shit, right?
Yeah, but I can also see what you're looking at. There's there's a slight ghosted image in orange. That is what you're looking at on yours, and what I'm looking at is a slight ghosted in like greenish.
Meanwhile, Disruptor died. No one cares.
No one cares. Sorry, we're discussing minimap details. It's really important.
I don't usually main the caster position, so I've never actually noticed that before. I think I've done it like once or twice, so okay, it's interesting to know. But alright, I'll take your word on it if anyone's watching me. I'm sorry I didn't zoom out right there. Spirit Breaker is going to be charging in on the Necro here. He's closing in. He does have support from the Rubik. This should be a kill as he doesn't have any backup. Charge is able to connect. Here come the bashes. 17%. There's one bash. He needs one more bash. Oh, don't cancel it. No, and he's not going to get away with it. I think he should have waited. Oh, ravaged in by the Tidehunter. Disruptor's pretty low, throws out a defensive kinetic field, but it's still going to get bursted down. Here comes the Spirit Breaker back in, charging in on Cheeks and Flappet. Still pretty tanky. Ultimate by the Crystal Maiden, but it's not in time as the Brewmaster is able to get the ult off. Everyone's running around
looking for the ult.
This. Looks like he's going to end up going on.
Oh, he stole it.
Necro's going to fall. He lays up, lift up the Crystal Maiden. Really good lift there. Charging in by the Spirit Breaker is able to bring him down. Meanwhile, Crystal Maiden finds herself. Here comes the ultimate by. Oh, good steal by the Rubik. Able to field the Crystal Nova. Here comes the Thunderclap. It was trying to right-click down, set a bell, doing the Anchor Smash, getting rid of some of the damage. Ursa's going to come in though. Oh, but he does get charged right there, be able to kite him around just a little bit. Ursa pops the ultimate, twice ravaged by the Tidehunter, but Ursa decides not to go up and go on the Spirit Breaker. He decides to focus on the Rubik. He's going to wrap around. Here comes it on the Spirit Breaker. Let's see how many missed chances he procs. He's procs a couple so far. Does he have enough for Drunken Brawler? Or for Drunken Haste? Not quite. One more Fire Blast and the right click by the Ursa is able to bring him down. Here comes Spirit Breaker again. He's able to charge in. Connects on the ultimate by the Disruptor. Chaps in the Ursa and the Crystal Maiden. But there's no follow-up. Ooh, the Omni Slash by the Juggernaut is able to bring down two.
Nice disruption of
We're
TP.
not done yet. Another charge by the Spirit Breaker. Here comes the kinetic field, able to bring him in place. And then right clicks down, Mask Commandus on the Juggernaut. Lots of damage coming out there, and the Tidehunter falls.
Wow, these team fights are amazing.
Radiant's top tower is taking hits.
And a charge again. Bash one. Can he get a second bash? Oh, nice ult there by the Necropose.
That was great.
Chased down. Mask of Madness is doing damage, although he doesn't realize he's taking a lot of damage from the Creeps in tower. He's glimpsed back. One more. No. Will he get another kill? Triple kill by the Pretty Buddies.
Oh my gosh.
What a play. Now time for Rubik to try his hand. He stole the Death Pulse. Heals and damages all around. But the Dire have more creeps. Tidehunter actually opted to go for Vladimir's offering. I guess he's gonna try to burst up the Ursa, but the Ursa also built Vladimir's offering, so I don't know what the hell that's for. And is this the first or second Rosh of the game?
I think it's the first.
I think this is pretty slow. Or I mean, like, I know people always complain about like the Roshan and like how early it can be taken by Ursa, but the hero is designed that way.
Right.
He wasn't buffed because he needed a nerf to Roshan. Like the hero is designed to have Roshan at almost all times. So to have the first Roshan at 21 minutes, I think is a bit of a misplay.
Possibly.
I think the first Roshan shouldn't come later than 8 or 10 minutes.
Yeah, in an ideal situation for sure. They've been team fighting and dying so much though, just on both sides, that if it comes a little bit later, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I mean, I still feel at some point in time you should just tell your team to back up. Meanwhile, Omni Slash coming in, followed quickly up by the Blade Fury. He's not able to bring them all down. He's going to get chased down here by the Dire team. Is he able to get away? He should be able to get back up. I think that's just one of those things, though, like, when you're in that situation, tell your
Mhm.
team, hey, back off a bit. We're going to do roast real quick, and then we'll go in and try to do team fights.
That makes a lot of sense.
So, I mean, solo queue, whatever, 5-on-5 team fight, that's something that should be communicated. Frostbite, she's going to follow it up real quick with the freezing field. It might be able to bring him down. Does bring down the Brewmaster. Ult there by the Rubik. He's able to. I don't think he got it. Did he get the? No, he ended up getting Death Pulse.
Radiant's mid tower.
I thought he might have been able to steal Freezing Field right there, but wasn't quite able to get it. Staying on the high ground, providing a little bit of positioning. Push is going to come in, but here comes the charge by the Spirit Breaker. He might be able to connect more. Oh, good ult by the Disruptor, but is only able to catch in the Ogre Magi. Meanwhile, Diddy Mitch is able to right-click a couple heroes down, cheats a flap, and doing a couple damage, but he's able to follow. Nice, ravaged by the Taunter. They're going to bring down one, they're going to bring down two, they're going to bring down three heroes. Rubik's getting chased right now by the Ursa and the Tidehunter. He's got Gush in 3 seconds, 4 seconds. No, here comes the Spirit Breaker. He's going to charge in on the Ursa. He's going to do some right-clicks. Here comes the ult. How many bashes can he get off? He wisely decides to get away because that is a scary-ass bear.
Yeah, for sure.
As far as bear-on-bear action goes, Ursa wins.
I'm suddenly very uncomfortable with this discussion.
Radiant's mid tower coming apart.
Just accept it.
Fine. Moving on.
Radiant's mid tower ain't doing so good.
I do like that Squiddles on the Tidehunter. I think it's giving him a lot of mojo this game.
Okay. Oh, nice. Yeah, I always like the Hammerhead Shark.
Uh-huh. That's a good one too.
That's the one that I use.
Regeneration.
So it looks like Tidehunter's finally picked up his Blink Dagger.
Good stuff.
Juggernaut opted for the Battle Fury. I guess, faster farming, that's okay. Ursa has almost got his BKB.
Right?
And that's about it. It looks like the Ogre is going to try to go for an Ags. He's about halfway there, so not too much longer. Spearbreaker has opted for a Shadow Blade, and what appears to be... Oh, he's going for a Silver Edge. I guess that gets rid of Fury Swipes. That's actually pretty significant, so...
Yep, that makes sense.
Fury Swipes, it takes down off Kraken Shell,
Right.
and Sadist, and Heartstar Aura. So okay, he's got some good targets. I think in team fights probably Ursa would be the best target just to get rid of that Fury Swipe damage.
Yeah.
But I mean, hitting Necro is not bad either. Preventing him from being able to heal up in region is pretty significant. Necro likes to be in the middle of team fights and constantly spamming out death pulses to get that health regen up.
Sure.
I think either one of those two targets is going to be pretty good once he gets that Silver Edge.
Yep, I think that makes sense. Of course, I think in general he's probably looking more for the Silver Edge for the solo kills. Just the one-on-one scenarios.
It doesn't really provide that much extra damage. It really just gives you, a chance to slow, a little bit of extra burst damage, and some more tankiness, which, it's definitely a core item on Spirit Breaker, I think. Especially for those kind of initiator type heroes. Oh, but in the meanwhile, they're able to bring down the Diddy Mish with the Necrophil. He's down for 80 seconds. Here comes the charge though. Oh, they're going to bring down the Disruptor as well. They really need to get out of not the Disruptor, the Brewmaster. That's the bigger kill. Good ult there by the Disruptor, but here comes the charge in by Pretty Bunny. He's going to connect on the Necrophos, but here Freezing Field by the CM, able to provide enough space for the Necrophos to get out, and here comes the chase. Defensive Kinetic Field by the Disruptor, able to catch Yadnev in just in time, so he's not able to kill the Rubik. Freezing Field though, oh no, Rubik glints? No, not in time. Up, Disruptor falls, here comes the Spirit Breaker, is going to be chased down by 3 heroes. They don't have anything to slow him, oh, there's the nice...
Good blink.
7 in a row, 2 down.
I didn't realize that the Necro had picked up a blink, that's actually pretty huge.
That is.
The Dire might want to mine their top tower.
And that is a full team wipe from the Dire side. and they are in prime position to push.
Radiant's bottom tower. Dire's top tower's getting beat down. There goes Radiant's bottom tower.
And are
Radiant's
they going
mid
to try to
tower
push
could
high
use a
ground?
hand.
They do still have the Aegis. I think now would be a good time to do it. Brewmaster just trying to throw out some missed chances for him.
Tower ain't a pretty
But
sight.
they do decide to continue to push. The mech has been used. Oh no, the mech is up. So they still have the mech chance to use. Overpower used by the Ursus, trying to get some extra right click damage. Everybody is up from the Radiant side. Trying to find the right position. I think the Dire team's a little bit too close up. There's what I was waiting for. A really good disruptor in the kinetic field. Brewmaster is able to ult up and get his ultimate off. Here comes out. The good Ravage by the Tidehunter. Set him free.
Ooh.
Ult on by the Necrophos brings down the Juggernaut again for 90 seconds. Wins back here on the Tidehunter. Catches him in the kinetic field. But good blink out. In the meanwhile, Disruptor. Lift by the Rubik. Blinking by the Necrophos. He's gonna try to see if he can right click. He just needs about another right click or two. No, he decides to go on the Rubik. Not quite enough damage. Oh, he's going high ground. Gets
Oh my
caught in
gosh.
by the kinetic field. There's a
Okay.
glimpse. There's a gush. Oh, it's a little bit too greedy on that, but he does create space for the Ursa and the Crystal Maiden. And he knows it. Brewmaster's in. Ursa just can't get the right clicks off. Too much missed chance. He throws out the Drunken Haze. Ursa's gonna start missing again, but he just needs one more to connect. One more to connect, and the other bear falls down. He does get it off. Now they're trying to run away. Lift up by the Rubik, connects on the Crystal Maiden. There goes the Fade Bolt, and one more right click, and she's gonna fall down. And it looks like they're gonna try to get out of this engagement.
Overall, that might have actually still been worth it. They do have the tier 3 tower almost down.
Yep, didn't lose the tower. They didn't have to buy anyone back. They were definitely behind. So if we look at the net worth, it's slight. They did lose a few more heroes, and just that was just because of the team wipe they suffered just recently.
Sure.
But they do see a slight uptick. They were behind a little bit, and they traded fairly evenly after that. So, you know, if you're coming back to where we were at the tier 2 tower, yeah, definitely in favor of the Dire. But you know, last team fight on the high ground, they were able to hold. So slight tick back up in their direction. And couple key items getting picked up. Force staff by the Crystal Maiden, that should help if everyone gets caught in Disruptor's ult. And then also the axe pickup by the Rubik, so he is able to spell steal all the spells. I can't talk.
Oh.
Charge in by the Spirit Breaker on a creep. Got that last hit. Got 4 Radiant top. They do have the high ground. Oh no, this is a disaster. There's 4 heroes there. Thunderclap in. Here comes the charge. Right click down. Is he able to get off the BKB? He does, but not quite in time. Lift up by the Necrophos. Ursa's quite low. Doesn't have the Aegis anymore and is losing. There goes one down. They're going to charge in on the Necrophos. And that's going to be another kill. He throws out a desperation ult, but it just doesn't do enough damage. CM is there, but it looks like a desperation. Kinetic Field is able to hold him in place. They're going to try to bring down the Disruptor, but not quite enough. Brewmaster is able to get the ultimate off. He's going to keep down and right-clicking down the Crystal Maiden, and she's going to find good cycle in there to keep the Ogre Magi up in the air. Crystal Maiden is able to fall, and looks like they're going to go back on. Charged in by the Spirit Breaker, hits on Cheek of Titan. Here comes the lift by the Rubik, and Cheeks is going to fall. And that was just a disaster scenario right there. Your two main cores walking up the cliff together.
Yeah, that was really rough.
Well.
Just completely wrong place, wrong time.
Yep. And the thing was, they should have known they were nearby because they fought creeps up on the high. They didn't exactly smoke around into that. That's kind of one of those map awareness type things because there 2, possibly 3 heroes showed up on the top lane near that large camp right before they went up there, so they had to have some idea.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, we're gonna have another rotation down to bottom. Tidehunter's farming out of the lane. He gets caught out by the Spirit Breaker and the Juggernaut, and he falls rather quickly now. Not quite as tanky as he used to be.
No.
Dire's mid tower won't last much longer.
So some pretty big positional stakes here by the Dire, and I would be surprised that this game is almost back up to dead even. And yep, on net worth, Radiant hold a slight advantage, less than 2,000. So at 30 minutes, that means basically nothing. And XP earned is around the same thing. So for all intents and purposes, this game is pretty much dead even. I think I like Radiant's late game just a little bit more, especially with the BKBs that they got coming out. And the only real big BKB carrier they're gonna have on the Dire team is Ursa. And while I was talking about that, Ursa just got absolutely wrecked because I wasn't paying attention.
It's fine. I had it on the camera.
Charge him at the Spirit Breaker, and Crystal Maiden falls. Juggernaut was able to pick up the Aegis. This is not looking good.
No, they're moving really well as a team.
If you're rooting for the Radiant, things are looking fantastic.
I root for whoever's winning.
Well, about 2 seconds ago, that was nobody. And Dire or Radiant have taken a clear advantage here over the last 5 minutes. They've played really well.
Go
So,
Radiant.
Yeah, there's the BKB up on the
Brewmaster.
Up on the Brewmaster. I know his name. Been a long day.
Tell me about it.
So yeah, now you've got the BKB on the Brewmaster. You will probably want to pick up one on the Spirit Breaker at some point in time, but it looks like he's going to go for more attack speed. Hopefully, I'm hoping that's an AC and not a Moon Shard. Please, God, be an AC, not a Moon Shard. And I think the Juggernaut should pick one up, but I'm not sure if he will. I think a lot of them feel like they're invincible with the Blade Fury. The problem is if he gets Blade Fury and Ursa is nearby, he dies.
Right.
So that's the thing. And you know, if he's able to get even like remotely slowed enough for Ursa to come in, it doesn't matter if he Blade Furies or not. He's gonna die.
Yeah, I think that's actually a lot, or a mistake a lot of people make is they think that they're invincible when Blade Fury is going off, but you can still just right-click him.
Yep, it's no different than a BKB.
Uh-huh.
Only it's a BKB where you can't use spells, so it's worse than a BKB.
I don't know, it looks flashier. You gotta give it points for that.
And the Spirit Breaker is invisible. They catch out the Crystal Maiden. Goes ahead and ult up. She's going down. Kinetic Field drop down to catch up the other Magi. He's not going to be able to cast anything. He's just going to get right-click down. And that's 2 heroes down, plus the Aegis of the Immortal. This should be a lane of Rax. Another charge in by the Spirit Breaker. He really hates creeps. And
he does have Silver Edge.
Drop the Healing Ward. He really should be dropping the Healing Ward right now. I don't know why they're not going up. They have a 5-on-3 advantage. Like, I know the Brewmaster's not there, but that's no excuse to not go in. I mean, I guess they're respecting the Tide Ravage, but if that's the case, just send up the Juggernaut. He's extremely farmed. If they decide to initiate on him, you can always back him up with the Glimpse by the Thunder Lizard, aka Disruptor. God, I am bad with names today. And then you also have the Rubric to lift and Spell Steal as well. So like right now, Rubik is up. Rubik should not be up. He should be back right now. They are able to bring down the Spirit Breaker with the Necrolite ult. They're going to get chased down. Ursa's getting into a man fight with the Juggernaut. That is not a good fight for the Juggernaut. Disruptor is able to throw out his field out there. Oh, good Ravage is able to stun the Juggernaut just in time, and he's going to get clicked down. Really good Ravage there by the Tidehunter. Was getting
stole Ravage.
The zoning ult. Here comes the ult by the Brewmaster. He's going to try to go in on this and maybe kill the Necrophos. Nope. Defensive Kinetic Field again. Lift up on the Ursa. Might be able to bring down the Tidehunter. A couple more right clicks should do it, and he will fall. But the Ursa is going to start chasing on the Brewmaster. A couple right clicks is all he needs. Ult BKB used by the Brewmaster, and it looks like he's going to be able to maybe get away. He's got to blink up. Yep, he's out. So good hold there by the Dire.
Yeah, for sure. Just when they needed some kills, they definitely got them. Those were some big um, experience swings.
Yeah, that was a really good initiation there on the Juggernaut, not allowing him. I think he get off Omni Slash. He did get off Omni Slash, but he didn't not able to get off Blade Fury after he respawned and he got ulted by the Tidehunter. And he tried to man fight the Ursa, which is just never a good idea.
Almost never.
If you have more health than him and you have a Blade Mail, I guess that would be an okay scenario. That's about it.
Yep.
And it looks like we have a
Someone's
DC on the
having
Ursa.
technical difficulties.
Gold for me.
Okay, he is building AC on the Spirit Breaker. Good.
Oh, that is good.
Okay. I'm not upset with you, Kyler. If that had been a moon shard though, oh. I am not a fan of the moon shard as like a fourth item. I
No.
think that's quite terrible. There's so many better things you could buy.
I agree. I think it really needs to be like a sixth item.
I mean, yeah, it's a late game 6 item. The only I think Tiny can get it early, and when I say early, I mean like item 5 or 6,
Eh,
and preferably 6. I think Tiny is an exception. Slark is possibly an exception.
I guess that makes sense on Slark. Since it actually
Basically,
increases
anybody
his
who
ability
gets like
steal.
this is someone who has some sort of proc
Yeah.
on a
On right click, sure.
which the Spirit Breaker does, but it's also on a cooldown. So at some point, it doesn't matter.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, Tiny just because his damage is so high that that attack speed actually is pretty ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
And then on Slark, I think it might be okay. Possibly PA wouldn't be too bad.
Yeah, she would definitely crit more.
I mean, you're kind of going full glass cannon at that point in time.
Mm-hmm. Maybe somebody who has a Skull Basher.
Yeah. Maybe Ricky. I think, but but even with Ricky, I still think you need some more items before. Like, I still think
Yeah.
that like at best a 6th item on Ricky.
I agree.
Still, you have to get the defusal. You have to get you don't have to get it, but you want like maybe like a movement speed like an SNY. You almost always want to bash in almost all scenarios. So you need like an Abyssal Blade.
Right.
Plus you got your boots, and then you know if you get to that late, you're usually gonna want a BKB. So then it's like now you're at like that's 5 like SNY, BKB, defusal. Abyssal Blade and boots. So yeah, like I mean, I guess at that point inside, yeah, sure, Moonshard could be your 6th item, but
Yeah. I don't know. Even then, I don't really love it.
it's like yeah, even then, like I think an AC would be better.
I would even rather have a Desolator. Give you like split push options.
And I mean, honestly, at that point in time, like you don't really want to split push with Ricky. Your goal is to create pressure off the map. But like something like a hex is good on any hero no matter what. Like I don't care if you are a hardcore like right clicking DPS, hex is still not a bad item.
Yeah. I think it was better when it also muted, but
Yeah. Or got rid of evasion.
or maybe.
Because the mute is silence.
Oh,
On
okay.
the items.
Oh, yes.
It used to break, I guess.
Break, yeah. That's right.
It doesn't break anymore.
It would silence your passives, right? Thank you.
Yes.
That terminology is so weird.
Yeah, mute is more to do with items. Break is to deal with passives.
Gotcha.
And silence has to do with abilities.
Ugh.
So the shield get used to silence and break.
I'll take
Okay.
that as tribute.
and mute. It used to mute. It used to mute and break. Hex used to do basically everything.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like a hex on like someone like an Ursa, it's not a bad item. Like, because think of it this way: if he blinks in on like say the Juggernaut, and the Juggernaut is able to get an Omni Slash off, all right, great. He now has to tank an Omni Slash, or he's able to get his Blade Fury off. Okay, great. Now now he can't do. He can't be hit by someone else. But like, say like an Ursa blinks in and hexes you,
Mm-hmm.
you die.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't care who you are, you die. That burst is just too insane.
Mm-hmm.
So like, hexes are good and they don't have to be brought up by supports or intelligence scores. They are still really good items even on agi carries.
Yeah, for sure. Especially somebody who can abuse it, like a tinker or something.
Yeah. See that's more of like a that's more of an intelligence carry, but like high burst damage at carries,
Mm-hmm. Oh,
it's
okay.
it's actually really good.
Mm-hmm.
Not so much on the split damage. Like if you never want to get on like a Medusa or a Spectre or like a even like a Bristleback. Like split damage carries aren't that great on, but like single target burst carries, oh yeah.
Radiant's
Mm.
top tower's in bad shape.
That makes sense.
TAs, even like a TA, PA, or an Ursa, like it's an underrated fifth or sixth item.
The Radiant got
All right, enough about theory crafting. Let's talk about this game that I've been neglecting. So looking at the net worth chart, yeah, the Radiant have done exceedingly well in the last 10, 15 minutes or so. They now find themselves up at a 10,000 XP lead and about an 8,000 gold lead. So it is 42 minutes into the game though, so that's not nearly as big as it was, and the Dire just were able to pick up Roshan.
And cheese.
Ursa not taking the double damage rune. Now he's taking the double damage. Oh, but he gets
Oh.
healed up real quick there by the Disruptor. He does BKB, does get an ult. Oh, Disruptor's gonna die. Good ravage by the Tidehunter. Ruby gets caught out. Freezing field dropped in by the CM. But here comes the BKB on the Juggernaut, and he decides to Omni Slash immediately. I'm not quite sure if I like that idea. I'd like to see it earlier. Charge in by the Spirit Breaker, able to ult up the CM, and she's going down. Right click still coming out by the Juggernaut, but he's fighting up on the low ground up against the Juggernaut, or the Ursa, and he's actually missing a couple right clicks. They're really bad positioning. And the Brewmaster ults, but it's more or less just to get the hell out of dodge. They're just going to chase down the Earth Bear.
Yeah. They know which one to stop.
Box, and he is going to die here in 3 seconds. Oh, good
Oh,
flank.
nice.
So the Juggernaut BKB'd and then immediately leapt into Omni Slash after the Ravage had already been spilled. So the only thing that could have stopped him would have been Fire Blast, which I guess, if he's able to get off both of them, could bring him down in time. But he essentially wasted
A BKB.
a 10-second BKB because most of it went through
Yeah,
for the duration of the Omni Slash.
Yeah.
I would have liked to seen the Omni Slash followed up by the BKB, then followed up by a Blade Fury TP, like if he has to get out.
Yeah. I think that would have been the ideal sequence. Mm-hmm.
And then on top of that, he ended up in the man fight right here against the Ursa, but Ursa was here and Juggernaut was here. Sad face. He actually missed. I wasn't able to count, but he was missing a couple attacks right there. So not getting high ground definitely cost him. And eventually, the Ursa is going to get True Strike. At least I hope he is.
Right.
And that's going to cause havoc. But it looks like they're going to try to push the low ground here again with the Aegis. About 15 seconds left until the Tidehunter ult. Necro in the meanwhile is just AFK farming engines. Ping's coming out by the Radiant side. They are going to see the Tidehunter, but Tidehunter blinks away. Is able to get the safety. Spirit Breaker still trying to find someone. Uses the Silver Edge. It's on the chase. Finds Cheats back, and he is going to charge up here. Holds up immediately. Here comes the right clicks. Link in by the next post. Oh, and the Reaper's Scythe. He's down for 99 seconds.
Oh
No
my
buyback.
gosh.
This is their chance to push low ground. Spirit Breaker's down for a minute and a half without a buyback. Omni Slash coming up with a Juggernaut. Together, Kermish does the freezing field by CM. Oh, and looks like CM is going to fall down. G's getting eaten up by the Ursa. Nice Ravage by the Tidehunter. Rubik should fall. Here comes the Ursa, is able to immediately bring down the Disruptor. He does get chopped up in the kinetic field, but he's going to try to see if he can follow the Brewmaster. Brewmaster comes up. Oh, he's not able to get the blink out in time, and he's going to fall immediately to the rest of the Dire team.
Wow.
Really good fight there. They only lose the CM. Juggernaut's extremely low, and they still have the Aegis. They can push right now, and they should take a lane of Rax. I don't know if they'll get there in time, but they still have about 40 seconds to do so.
That's a long
Buyback
time.
status up on the Radiant side. They have buyback on the Brewmaster, and that's it. And Brewmaster already used his ultimate.
Yeah, I think they can take some racks here.
So this should be a lane of Rax at the minimum. Here comes the buyback by the Brewmaster. The Juggernaut is up, but keep in mind they don't have an ultimate on the Brewmaster or the Juggernaut. Shiva's guard. A little AoE damage followed by a slide. Throws out the Thunderclap. Able to clear out the creep wave. But he does get hit by the fire blast.
Oh.
He is going to immediately die. That's 125 seconds. That's a dieback death plus the Reaper Scythe.
Oh my gosh.
Forever. Literally forever.
Quite literally.
WLDL Season 2 will be over by the time he's up.
That's a bold statement, sir.
Juggernaut's gonna go in, but he does get Dagon here, but Spirit Breaker charging in on the Necrolate. Able to connect. They're still trying to bring down the Spirit Breaker, and he's gonna fall immediately to the Ursas. Here comes the Connect Field from Disruptor Ulti, able to trap in the Necrophos and the Omni Knight. Lift up by Omni Slash comes out. Oh, and he gets caught up by the creeps instead.
Radiant's bottom right.
Oh, that's not good. And they're gonna go back in. Hey, so 20 seconds until the Ravage is back up. Lift up by the Rubik, Thunder Strike coming down, and oh, they're gonna glimpse it back. Catches them in the kinetic field. Is the Juggernaut? No, he blinks out just in time. And they actually do have a refresher on the Tidehunter, so they have double Ravage up right now.
Nice.
And it looks like they're content with taking just that one lane of Rax, and they're gonna back out.
I think that's the right call.
And they are pushing it. I mean, the Brewmaster is still dead for another century and a half or so.
Uh-huh.
But
Literally,
they're
right?
gonna back out. Literally. Dota 3 will be out in 4 months.
Force Engine 2. Possibly 3.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves. But a couple of buybacks were used right there. They had a buyback on the Juggernaut and a buyback on the Brewmaster. So the about 10k gold lead that they had before has now plummeted to a 10k, or no, that's XP. No, still the same. 12k, for a 10k gold lead is plummeted down to a 12k gold lead for the Dire. So about a 20k net difference in gold and XP over the last 5 to 7 minutes or so. Looks like all the ultimates are up on the Dire side, so they should try to press their advantage here. It looks like they're just gonna try to take down that outer tier 2 tower and get some free XP and gold out of that. And they should be able to take this tower without contention. Big stealing death bolts. Oh, here comes the glimpse, but They're able to bring him back. Here comes, oh, nice Ravage is able to block off the Spirit Breaker Ravage. Here comes the Refresher, and then another Ravage. Haste comes out, Disruptor ult in the kinetic field, able to tuck in, but the Brewmaster is able to ult up. The Tidehunter's still going to find himself in, but Ursa is just going absolutely ham right now. Able to bring down the Spirit Breaker and the Disruptor. Rubik finds himself really low. They're going to use up the Ogre Magi with the Brewmaster ult. Rubik's still in the back trying to steal some spells. Diddy Mitch meanwhile trying to find the Ogre, or find the Tidehunter is not able to. Ursa really low as well. Diddy Mitch is able to chase after him. Thunderclap by the Brewmaster and is able to bring him down. Chiefs of Lappin throwing out some ignites to try to slow down the chase, and they're able to do so. So I think I think it was the Necro that got glimpsed back, caught a little bit out of position. They were able to bring in the Tidehunter to do a double Ravage, which helped stall and able to get them a couple kills on the Spirit Breaker and the Disruptor. But ultimately, I think that's a win for the Radiant right there. They don't lose the Brewmaster or the Juggernaut. They do lose the Spirit Breaker, but not that big of a deal, especially considering they brought down both the Ursa and the Necrophos. So.
Yep, I think you're right for sure.
And slight dip. So I mean, it wasn't not a resounding win, but you know those kind of like those little chippy team fights. You know, little 2K net lead or net worth after the end of that fight. Those are the kind of fights you need.
Yeah, I mean, small edges, right? You just need to grind that advantage.
Right. I mean, you'd love to land the 5-man static sword. Or, oh my god.
Oof.
They are getting absolutely wrecked right now. Here comes the freezing field, but she's able to get stunned up. Oh, it is stolen by the Rubik, and he's the one actually doing most of the damage. And that's a triple kill right there by the Rubik. Super fantastic steal.
That was really great. I wonder if there was some hesitation because they weren't sure who was casting the freezing field in that instance.
By the Necrolite, and that is 150 seconds that the Juggernaut. Oh, BKB up by the Ursa. A couple more right clicks, and nope, we're gonna get glimpsed back. Finds himself stuck in the kinetic field. The Brewmaster ult is able to. He might be able to use the Cyclone, but nope, not quite enough. He does find the Spirit Prayer, but nope, they are able to bring him back out. And they're only able to find the Juggernaut on that one.
What do you think the highest respawn timer there ever has been?
I mean, it would be. I mean, it's just 25, level 25 with the buyback followed by a Necro ult, whatever that timer is.
I can't do math. You know this.
I mean, I don't do
That's
math
fine.
either. Does the buyback timer say what? How much it adds on?
I don't know.
No, I think it's like 50%.
Okay.
So, and it's 4 times the level plus 12. Isn't that right? No.
I don't know. You're asking the wrong person.
I mean, like 150 seconds is about what it is, because it would be like, because the buyback death at level 25 is like a minute and almost 2 minutes, and then you add on an extra 30 seconds, so like 150 seconds, something like that.
Wow.
Yeah, the only thing that goes up the later the game goes is the cost of the buyback. The timer itself, it doesn't change.
Okay.
I did have a game one time though where I had to buy back for the cost of a rapier. That made me sad.
Oh my gosh. I would assume it was one of those cases where buyback or lose, huh?
Oh yeah, I don't know. I mean, this game was. I think we were approaching. We hit 2 hours. I think it was 150,
Oh my gosh.
160 minutes, something like that.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and level 25. I had a really high net worth, and I died, and my buyback ended up being like it was like 5K or 6K. It was really high.
Mm-hmm.
It might have been over 3 hours. I'll have to check it. I think it might have been like closer to 200 minutes.
Oh, look at all the garbage in Roche Pit. Stout Shield, cheese, Town
They
Portal
left the
Scroll.
cheese?
Yeah, they
Guys,
left the
please
cheese.
okay, hang on. Magi has an empty magic slot. Ursa has a solar crest. Whatever. Alright. That is slotted. Crystal Maiden, you have an empty slot and an urn. Yeah, someone needs to pick up that cheese.
Mm-hmm. Come on, guys. There isn't that much food in this game.
It looks like they're gonna try to barrel down mid. At this point, I think everyone's got their key items. This is really down to execution. So,
Yep, they just need one good sequence of plays and they could probably end this here.
yep. Instead of the Solar Crest on the Ursa, I really would have liked to seen an MKB.
Yeah, I agree.
If I'm the Brewmaster, I am targeting Drunken Haze on him every chance I get.
For sure, that's pretty much Brewmaster's job. Slow down the right-click hard carry.
BKB comes out, Omni Slash is going to connect, but there's so many creeps in the way, he's not able to get them all down. He does get Omni Slash followed up by the Hex, and the Abyssal Blade down. The Ursa is going to fall, but he does have the Aegis. Aegis is going to respawn right here. In the meanwhile, in fact, he's got the rest of the Dire team backing him up. Here comes the Death South, but here comes the Tide Ravage. Is he going to refresh? He does. Here comes the refresh Ravage. Brings down the ultimate by the Necrophos. Brings down the Juggernaut down. He's down for a minute 35. Rubik falls. Disruptor falls. Mirror Breaker's almost dead. Trying to run away. It is able to get out of there just in time. And the Brewmaster falls out there. It's going to be a GG call. Really good movement there by the entire team, backing up, waiting for the Aegis to pop, and then following up immediately with the double blink Ravage.
Yep. Great plays, great coordination.
Spirit Breaker charges in, but it's pretty much done at this time. Busby is able to fall. Brewmaster finds himself dead. He does buy back, but it's still only a Brewmaster and a Spirit Breaker. No ults on either of them versus all of the Radiant or the Dire lineup. Tier 4s are down. They are taking down the Throne as we speak. Right clicks coming out from the Crystal Maiden, the Bear, the Tide Hunter, the Ogre, and whatever the hell the Necrophos is. Some sort of demon, I suppose.
Sounds about right.
GG's, everybody.
Yeah, that's going to be game. So any shout-outs you want to give, Tugs?
No, not really. That was fun.
Yeah.
Good games all around. This is actually one of the closer games we've had in quite a while. It was really back and forth. The game was actually, even after that last team fight, it was all execution. The Dire maybe had a slight advantage just with the Aegis on their side, but no, by no means was it out of the Radiant's hands to win that game. It really just came down to positioning, and the Dire pulled back as Ursa died, and the Radiant tried to surround, and when they did, the Tide Hunter saw the opportunity and blinked double Ravage, and that was it. So,
yeah, pretty much his job. Well,
really
well played.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. Well, thanks for joining me, Tugs. I appreciate it.
Not a problem.
And thanks to all of our audience for watching. We are streaming, so thank you for joining us. If you'd like to check us out, we are at WeLikeDota.reddit.com, and hope to see you in one of these games. Have a good night, everybody.
How many do we have right now?
Yeah.
How many do we have right now? How many viewers? Is it more than one?
I couldn't say.
Oh, okay.
All right. Yeah. All right. Well, have a good night, everybody.
Later.
Yeah. I'm not watching the viewer count. I don't have it loaded up.
Oh, nice.
I should get somebody to monitor the chat. But I just didn't want to add anything else to it while every now and again I was crashing anyway.
I gotcha. Fair enough. I'm just glad it ran through the entire time.
Yeah. The stream's still going out for the last 2-minute stream delay or whatever. But other than that, we're good and we're clear. Good stuff. In the can. So,
Yay.
yeah, I'll upload those as usual. Hey, if you ever get something you want me to shout out, a Twitter or whatever, or your own YouTube channel, or
I said I don't have a Twitter.
Okay, well, whatever then.
Yeah, I mean I'll probably do it sometime, but
Yeah.
yeah, for right now, and I think when whenever they do the WLDL season 2, if I have to solo cast games, I'll honestly I won't even upload it to mine. I'll just upload it to WLDL.
Oh, sure.
Or the We
The
Like
We
Dota
Like
YouTube
Dota.
page.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that'd be cool. I don't know how all that works exactly. I think once I wanted to upload and it was complicated because you couldn't share administration for upload or something or other. I
oh
don't know.
really?
Yeah, there was something weird. Maybe they fixed that by now.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
I'm sure. Okay.
It'll just be dependent. I mean, it'll just depend on how many people we actually have who are able to cast / how many teams are going to play and whatnot. So
Yeah, for sure. And coverage was, I mean, it worked out last time, but I don't know if Last Talon's returning, and he covered a lot of the games. Um,
Gotcha.
so I think the more, you know, more hands make lighter work, or however
Right.
that thing goes. But um, we'll figure it out.
Sounds good. You out for the night?
Yeah, yeah, I'm gonna go.
All right, man.
Okay.
Later days. Have a good
Yeah,
one.
see ya.